Shortage of quality banknotes. Medicine shortage in Mt Hagen. And rundown CIC building to be upgraded.
This is National MTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening, this is Tuesday's news. Thank you for joining us. The shortage in cash experienced at BSP ATMs in Port Moresby is a result of insufficient quality notes supplied by the central bank. Other contributing factors include the increase in demand for cash by customers at this time, with parents sorting out school fees and the continuous blackouts. BSP customers are now encouraged to use online banking, mobile banking and FPOS services.
Bank South Pacific has over 300 ATMs nationwide, with 119 in the nation's capital, Port Moresby. With cash withdrawal issues raised in recent days at ATMs in the capital city, BSP CEO Robin Fleming says printing of quality notes from the Bank of Papua New Guinea and power outage issues affecting the system are issues that are contributing greatly to the problem.
In order for our ATMs to operate effectively, there's a couple of preconditions or a couple of key issues that we need to ensure are addressed to keep the ATMs up and running as much as possible. First and most important is the supply of good quality notes. Secondly, relates to communications and power. And then the third one's around the quality of our cards.
CEO Fleming says majority of ATMs that were not available for use by BSP customers were in Port Moresby, with 29 ATMs being out of cash and 11 being offline due to telecommunication link issues. Outside of Port Moresby, another 16 ATMs were offline due to telecommunication link issues, which, according to Mr. Fleming, can arise if there are blackouts that disrupt communication links to ATMs. It is understood BSP staff worked over the weekend to attend to ATMs that were out of service wherever possible, but it was not possible to top up all ATMs over the weekend.
The annoying thing about it is we BSP customers are being forced to go use either a Westpac ATM or a Kina Bank ATM, and obviously it comes at some cost.
CEO Fleming dismissed any claims of BSP not having enough cash available to serve customers, saying that BSP currently has a cash circulation of about 290 million kina, which is sufficient to meet the demand. However, getting quality banknotes from Bank of Papua New Guinea is a challenge for BSP and often results in shortage of quality banknotes for use in ATMs.
And what we do encourage people to do is to take advantage of the FPOS terminals, which are in every major retailer in Port Moresby, many of the smaller retailers in Port Moresby, to use that capability to do a transaction using your FPOS card, your Savvy card, Kundu card, other cards, without having to go to an ATM, get the cash out and then bringing that cash back into the store to settle for the goods in cash.
Meanwhile, Bank of PNG Governor Loy Bakani responded via a WhatsApp message to BSP's concerns raised today regarding shortage of quality banknotes, saying instead of only blaming the central bank, BSP should also do their part by encouraging cash deposits from the public and corporates. Mr. Bakani says BSP also does not return bad or soiled banknotes to the central bank, and if BSP collects lots of deposit, then it can reuse fit notes by putting them back into its ATMs. The bank governor says most times the central bank has been issuing clean banknotes without commercial banks returning old notes. He says if BSP needs deposits, they have to create facilities for cash deposits and even increase interest rates. Dennis Orere, National MTV News.
The Western Highlands Provincial Health Authority is facing drug shortages again. Chief Executive Officer David Vorst says the hospital may have to close down if the situation gets worse. The issue of drug shortage has been an ongoing issue faced by provincial health authorities.
The Western Highlands Provincial Health Authority is forced to use their operational budget to subsidize the central drug procurement process by paying area medical stores 6,000 kina a day to get their drugs and medical consumables.
While we get reasonable deals in the marketplace, of course, we're paying basically retail rates for drugs. You know, if you're buying them at wholesale prices, you're getting a much better deal. We've looked at importing drugs ourselves, but we can't get a license to do that. That's quite a difficult process.
They have been facing drug and medical consumable shortages since 2019. 2 weeks ago, they ran out of amoxicillin, a drug commonly used in the country. There were also no syringes, urine bags and others generally.
You go to a doctor here and you've stubbed your toe, then they're likely to prescribe paracetamol and amoxicillin. So they run out of everything, basically. You know, we have a lot of HIV patients admitted here. A lot of them are incontinent. They use basically adult nappies. They can't supply those.
WHPHA CEO David Vorst said the 76 million kina huge cut in the 2021 budget for provincial health authorities and the 54% cut for drug procurements will likely see more drugs and consumable shortages and closing down of health facilities.
The government has always said that education and health are a priority. But it's hard to see it as a priority if you cut 76 million kina out of the operational budget.
Vorst said the same model of procuring drug is still being used despite the Public Accounts Committee inquiry last year into the procurement process, which had exposed a lot of implications.
But that overall means that the 2021 outlook for health is not good at this point. And certainly, you know, if there were drug shortages before, there's certainly going to be drug shortages now.
The WHPHA budget cuts in the 2021 national budget has seen each PHAs getting 3.9 million kina. Hospitals such as POMGEN and Mt Hagen General Hospital are some of the busiest in the country, seeing at least 200 to 300 patients a day. At least 30% of Mt Hagen Hospital's adult patients are from the other Highlands provinces, as well as for the children. WHPHA board has written letters to provincial and local level governments of Western Highlands, Hela, Southern Highlands and Enga to help, but have received no positive response.
Enga and Tari and Southern Highlands, for example, are getting funded for the patients that I'm treating. And of course I've spoken to them about that, but we haven't been able to come to any agreement.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mt Hagen.
A clan in the Awari gold prospecting Enga have dispelled media reports of another faction claiming to be legitimate landowners. Director of Awari Alluvial Mining Limited, Dominic Roy, says the status of EL 1420 and EL 1349 and AML 1975 are either expired or were refused granting by the Mineral Resource Authority. Roy says scenarios from Pogera Mine and other mines should be a lesson to landowners, developers and the state when handling such investments.
Dominic Ipararoy and members of his clan gave their side of stories, stating the nation's capital has become a central point for people and owners by claiming rights over resources. Mr. Roy told MTV News the status of the tree exploration license and alluvial mining license claimed by Timothy Warip are false and misleading.
So I'm license gaman. Na me got evidence stable here. License one time will expire. Na mapping will come up. Na status long MRA. I'm not saying all this license will expire 10 years ago. Na mapping will get out Lucy finish. So now me papa ground Awari alluvial mining company limited company apply new license. Na mix him 10 license. na mimba puti hearing.
The Awari Gold Prospect is one of the new prospects in the Wabek district of Enga province. Following prospects taken by interested developers, a warden hearing is set for 18th of February next month. A leader from the Awari clan is calling for people and owners to be there for objections and other matters.
Who said you think it's a place for you, you put up nothing around the city? So was you think you got lily up Awari stuff? You come this time, lo Awari. Lo hearing time now you putting complaint you have. No lo must be or turn around na Facebook or anything now you talk blow me.
Meanwhile, a youth spoke highly of brushing aside differences and for all to work together to develop communities who will be affected in the Awari alluvial mine prospect.
We must not act like our parents, our grandfathers, our fathers. We all got this mentality, this mindset where we start being. We fight na retaliate. We are educated people. We have to do something different. Na bring him maramani go pass. We don't have to complain. One is sending them services and companies. We must stand firm. Use our mind. One is sending the education in mixing. Now you must work one time on him. Dr. Lino na and provincial government. We must move forward.
For these Maramuni land owners, they want the due process by Wabek District Development Authority and MRA, including land owners, to complete so resource owners benefit and equally participate. They say Pogar and other mines in the country should be a lesson for all.
Mila give him a strong assurance lo line blow mibla lo place, especially lo Maramuni, resource blow mibla where I'm stop long Mibla how much through lo work on them government a company but mibla ba make him sure that mibla ba kisim good bla service. Na mibla line him lesson finish long or not existing mining web stop long.
Jack Power Jr. National MTV News.
The young man who was reported missing at Gabone village was found late yesterday afternoon and pronounced dead. The body of Napoleon Maune was found quite a distance away from where he was said to have mysteriously disappeared last Saturday morning. A search and rescue mission to locate him was immediately underway on Sunday, and after almost 3 days of searching, his body was found by villagers from a neighboring village. Health authorities from the district are understood to have taken the body to Kupiano station yesterday evening to determine the next course of action. With a number of his limbs missing from the body, the deceased is alleged to have been attacked by a crocodile. Concerned authorities are expected to issue formal statements on the body of the deceased after thorough inspections are carried out. You're watching National EMTV News. Among stories after the break, an important building in Lae to be upgraded and more concerns raised on the sales of cheap alcohol. Stay with us for the details. Welcome back. After more than 30 years, the Coffee Industry Corporation's rundown office in Lae will receive an upgrade. Agriculture Minister John Simon said the upgrade of this important office is expected to improve the coffee quality standards and facilitate coffee exports overseas. This facility will cost 10.6 million kina.
This building has been used since the inception of the Coffee Industry Corporation in Papua New Guinea. This is where they test PNG coffee for quality before it is exported.
It handles all the coffees that goes out of the country. And insofar as our office is concerned, this office has maintained very stringent quality control as well as exports. So we export our coffee without any complaints from the buyers overseas.
This office not only caters for like documentation and quality control, but levy, which supports the work of coffee in the whole of Papua New Guinea, is all collected here.
The state of the building, however, has been run down for the past several years. After more than 30 years, this important office will be given an upgrade. Today, Agriculture Minister John Simon officiated the groundbreaking ceremony in Lae for a new 3-story building. He said the upgrade of this important office is expected to improve the coffee quality standards and efficiently facilitate coffee exports overseas.
Coffee is one of the oldest and the commodity that has brought this country forward. But over the years, you know, because of infrastructures and many other issues, that has the staffs have lost the morale, everything sort of gone down. So this will also encourage and motivate them.
The new building will house the coffee laboratory, export, quality control and compliance office, conference, meeting and library facilities and other office spaces. It will be built by Helm Builders, costing 10.6 million kina and is being funded by the national government. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
Cheap alcohol and underage smoking have been identified as two main factors destroying families at the community level. One parent in Port Moresby said cheap alcohol is being sold in communities and that creates easy access for children under the age of 18 to purchase and consume this liquor. Another parent, Francis Ragana, says when under the influence of liquor, children are seen disrespecting their parents and causing fights within their communities.
But what I'm seeing in my community is like the youths that are very underage, 10 years old, or maybe less than 10, as all drinking that cheap product, blueberry, and the homebrew that they are taking. So maybe, not maybe, but it's affected the families, the parents should take control of their children. Distractions like arguing, problems that usually happen today are very high standard problems, like coming home with homemade gun, and small kids can just do anything that is very big. So when I see this as a adult man, I think back that in our ages we didn't know how to do these things, but right now it's affecting our children.
The Morbe Division of Education does not have funds available to assist teachers in Leh with transportation to postings in rural schools. This is according to the Provincial Education Advisor Keith Tangui, who said the responsibility is now on the districts to assist. Mr. Tangui said all the district education managers and district administrators have already been informed to make arrangements.
Place of appointment. We have already talked to our district education managers with the CEO or the district administrator. They have to come up with a good plan. We already told them some weeks ago to get a plan in place so that teachers from very remote areas might be assisted by the districts. So provincially, we do not have any funds to repatriate all our officers. So the onus is on the district administrators and the education manager to organize for transport to pick up and drop all the teachers for this school year.
PMV owners from Gulf Province have petitioned the Gulf Provincial Administration over issues concerning the 600 route. A gathering was held recently in Kerma town consisting of PMV owners, the travelling public and those that use the highway constantly. President of Gulf PMV Association, Paul Piver, says most local businesses are now affected following the influx of Highlanders running businesses along the highway. The president of Gulf PMV Association says there is no control mechanism by the Gulf administration, and this has frustrated local operators.
We have a concern here, our drivers and crew boys. They have a concern saying that they want to take the Highlands off from Gulf Province. At the moment, they are losing passengers. And some of us, we own the PMV with bank loans and all this. So at the moment, they want to make the money and then recoup their bank loans. So at the moment, plenty of our Gulf people's PMVs have been taken away by the banks. So the frustration Gulf PV owners has get it. So they want to know the outcome of the Gulf Province, Gulf administration.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina will buy $0.2775 $0.3550 Australian dollars, $0.2203 euro and 28.12 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee and cocoa closed lower, copper closed higher. Palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 36.98 points lower. The ASX 200 is trading at 24.35 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 32.45 points higher. National EMTV News continues with more stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Minister for Defence Solan Mirisim made his first appearance at the PNG Fire Service headquarters today and was warmly welcomed with a parade by fire officers. The team was overwhelmed to see a minister set foot in their office.
PNG Fire Service was pleased to welcome First Minister to their office today. Chief Fire Officer Bill Rue thanked the Minister for his appearance and also mentioned few improvements that they will work to achieve this year. PNG Fire Service is most often looked down at.
Well, we have never complained. Fire Service is an organization, we have never set back a complaint. So we have, sustained operations and we have provided the service that was required. Although people don't know the problems that we face, when we are late, they attack us, but that's our job.
Minister for Defence Solan Mirisim says he will put his effort to ensure all provinces in the country will have fire service. He also assures the PNG Fire Service that the Review of Fire Act project, which was initiated last year, will be completed this year.
The provinces will have the fire stations. Those you have 14, but we will try our best to make sure the other 12 or 6 or to make the 22 provinces to have fire stations.
PNG Fire Service has already set up an office for the Minister as he will be working with them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Esther Tyler, National EMTV News.
66 women of Yangon Associate District participated in life skills training hosted by the Sauso Council of Women at Kubalia Station. The trainings aim to develop, empower and support women, improve skills in basic financial literacy for business activities, sewing, spiritual enrichment and life skills to improve their living standards. Sauso Council of Women Interim President Matilda Mifa says a second training will be conducted. In the future, participants will be awarded certificates of successful completion of the courses. The training was funded through the Division of Community Development by the East Sepik Governor Alan Bird. Chukai Sports is next. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. While waiting for further information and an approval for their departure to Queensland, the SPPNG Hunters continue as usual with their preparations. The Hunters' performances in the Interest Super Cup this season will greatly depend on how quickly the team can adjust to their new environment.
Final preparations are in place as the SPPNG Hunters count down the days before their departure and relocation to Queensland. The final approval all depends on the Queensland health officials as they advise the Hunters on protocols surrounding COVID-19. Hunters coach Matthew Church stated that the unknown surrounding the relocation will place its own challenges on the squad. Most of the players will travel overseas for the first time and will have to adjust and adapt quickly to their new environment.
Yeah, so we have to have a COVID test within 72 hours of flight. Again, we're still waiting for the approval on when that flight is actually going to be. I guess the later it is towards, closer to Sunday, it's more likely that it's going to be, we're going to have to extend our stay in Papua New Guinea. But yeah, in terms of protocols, just maintain social distancing, hand sanitizer, and we have a charter flight. We won't be flying commercial. So yeah, that sort of allows or helps us gain exemption, because if we go commercial, then it's automatic hotel quarantine, and you lose control of it when that happens. They would just randomly throw us in certain hotels, and there's no guarantee that we'd all be together. That might be a possibility still. That might be the only way to get into Queensland, being an international side. But yeah, hopefully that's the last resort and we can find something else that's more suitable.
Coach Church has been impressed with the players putting in the hard yards and responding well to skills and technical developments during training. He has great confidence in the team and believes they are ready to take the field.
If we get to play the way we want to play over the advantage line, especially with the quicker game speed, it'll be a lot more one-on-one contests, and I'll back any one of my guys against anyone else in the competition. Yeah, there's going to be times throughout the year where it's going to be a challenge. I think a third of the group might be excited about being in Queensland. Another third probably couldn't care less, and then there'll be people missing home, and the dynamics of that are going to change from time to time. So if I can encourage the people of PNG to be that are true supporters or true Hunters supporters, that supporting is encouraging words, and so we don't want to use the relocation as an excuse for poor performance. We want to make sure that we're going down and making a good count of ourselves as Papua New Guineans and as Hunters.
Haksilovai, CIC Sports.
The feeling of being homesick shouldn't be a problem for the Hunters players who are relocating to the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. Ase Boas, Hunters 5'8", says it's good the whole team will be there to keep each other company, most likely eliminating homesickness.
Many a times when players from Papua New Guinea secure rugby league contracts overseas, there is some feeling of homesickness. That was revealed by Ase Boas, who spent some time playing in the UK. Boas, talking to media and stakeholders during their farewell, said this time around, as a team travelling to Australia, they will be able to look past being homesick.
I've been doing a lot of talking during trainings and encouraging the young boys. For there's some few boys in the squad like of Stanton, Wartowo, Edwin. They've been away, with the other clubs in overseas already. So. The experience of going alone is, you'll have homesick and, thinking of coming home, seeing white people around, and, you see that there's no one to talk to and they mind their own business and stuff. But there's one thing, around the camp, I encourage the boys that the good thing is we are going together as a team. So you won't be worried about coming home homesick, because when you're feeling homesick, you have your brother next to you to, seeing him, and you'll know that you're still in Papua New Guinea.
With 11 new players in the team, Boas and the other senior players within the team's leadership group have been preparing the new recruits mentally, aside from their training, with Ase and the others sharing some of their experiences on preparing for the upcoming season.
I've been doing a lot of talking in the team. The experience I've been with the club for almost 7-8 years. The simple message is just to work hard. Little things that you do now will go a long way. So it's not only in the field only, but, like I said before, it's outside of the field too. So what makes you a complete player is not only on the field, but it's outside. When you balance both outside and inside of the field, it will make you a complete player.
Ase has assumed leadership in the team. As captain in previous seasons, he is respected by the playing group. All the while, he has been emphasizing on preparation before game day, something which he believes culminates to a win.
I used to tell the boys that the 80% of the game is played outside, and the 80% of the game is played without the ball. So if you can play the 80% of the game, the 20% is just complementing the 80%, and at the end of the day, you'll always get the result that you want. So that's what we've been telling the boys.
Finally, Sukina, CIC Sports.
And that story ends CIC Sports. The weather report after this break.
CIC Sports. CIC Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Partly cloudy with possible shower or two tonight, then mostly fine morning in Port Moresby. Rain showers and drizzles tonight, then a cloudy morning in Daru. Partly cloudy with morning rain drizzles in Kerma. Partly cloudy tonight with possible morning showers in Alatau, and becoming cloudy tonight with morning rain drizzles in Popondita. In the Mamasa region, possible shower or two tonight, then a fine morning in Leh. Partly cloudy tonight with morning rain showers in Medang and Wewak, and chances of rain showers in Vanimore. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine though partly cloudy in Lorengau. Partly cloudy with a shower or two in Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul. Chances of rain showers and drizzles in Kimbe, and partly cloudy tonight with morning drizzles in Buka. And in the Highlands region, some rain drizzles tonight, then morning fog in Mt Hagen, and rain showers and drizzles tonight, then morning fog in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg. Forecast for small crafts for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru and Kiwai Islands to Kerma, to Yule Island, to Hood Point and Samari Island, with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, including waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits to CIC and Long Islands, seas of 1 to 2 meters. Waters of Samari Island to East Cape to Cape Vogel through Huon Gulf to Finschhafen, with waters of Long Island to Karkar Island and Wewak to Aitape to the northern PNG Indonesian border, including waters of Manus and its western group of islands, with waters of New Ireland to Bougainville, and with waters of East and West New Britain, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. A look at the ocean forecast. The PNG areas in the Coral Sea. Seas slight to moderate with west to northwest winds at 10 to 20 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas slight to moderate with northwesterly winds at 10 to 20 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas slight with northwest to northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with north to northeasterly winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Tuesday, the 26th of January 2021. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.